Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from beautiful downtown Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. We want to welcome you back to AA Garthwaite Stadium for tonight's game with the Philadelphia Phoenix hosting the DC Breeze, who come in tied with the Phoenix in records in the East, in the Southeast, 1-1, and who are without one of their leading players tonight. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. With 4:02 remaining in the first quarter, we are just finishing our second lightning delay. The first was prior to the start of the game. The second one here was, as we say, with 4:02 left in the first quarter, so that's where the clock remains. We are just double-checking who's coming back out on the field. And it looks like the O-line of Strauss, Katzenbach, Meta, Mott, and Peck, and Scotty Shu. And is that Mike Arcata over there, GM?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mike
it is.
Arcata's there. Top of the stack. Well, I guess right behind Trey.
We were very happy to be visited prior to the game by Matt the Cat Stevens from the New York Empire, who had just played a game last night in D.C., I believe. Is that right? Were they down there playing you guys last night? Where were they playing?
I think they played Ottawa. That can't be right.
Well, they came down here for, I guess they were down for the car show, and they decided to stop in and see a game. The first time he and his family have watched an AUDL game.
Oh, they played. Yeah, they went to the car show. They were just here for that.
Right.
And also, their family's from South Jersey.
I see. Okay.
And the owner, actually, Paul, grew up around Allentown.
I see. Anyway, it was great chatting with them before the game tonight. We're going to have it looks like, I don't know if Greg has to take it where it lies in the end zone or if he can walk it up after the turn. The turn was out of bounds.
No, the turn went out of bounds, and then they hitched it to the middle of the field to Esser. Esser caught it after the whistle blew, but they're counting it as Esser's catch. So
I see.
So because of the sub, it's going to be Peck's disc.
So this answers the question, can we sub after a lightning delay? That goes in the affirmative.
Yeah, temperatures dropped maybe 20 degrees since.
It is a lot cooler, and the disc is immediately turned on something that's a little behind Sean Mott and knocked down by number 78, who cannot get to it, Leo Pearson.
No, Neely just overthrows him. On
a throw from Neely in the middle. Matt Neely, who joked before the game when I asked, how would they do? Mike Arcata cannot quite get to that by Scotty Shu.
No, it looks like it I don't know if it ever came back in. Yeah, they're going to.
And that's not a good thing. Scotty Shu will have to get that turn. They're pointing to about the 14. And, very nearly bought a collision there. The ref saying he is not in the end zone yet. Who is that playing with 27? We have Austin Bartenstein. Oh, a big hammer that is tipped by one player. It looked like it was intended for Delrico Johnson.
I don't know. That hit
and hit number 78 instead, Leo Pearson again.
That hit him right in the chest.
It hit him actually up high. It went over his head. He knocked it over his head, and it would have hit Delrico in the chest if he had let it go. But I don't think he knew Johnson was behind him. Scotty Shu back into the end zone with Trey Katzenbach and Ethan Peck trying to clear. Now, Greg Strauss falls down just as Katzenbach is looking at a stall that Scotty Shu rescues him from. Back to Trey, back to Scotty. We're going to have a little give and go here to get it onto the proper field. Trey with a hard flick upwind to Himalaya Meta inside DC territory.
Great cut.
He and Greg Strauss. And now we have contact. Neely doesn't like that call, as you can tell by his body language. Oh, geez. Himalaya takes it in, holding the disc out, as is the tradition in all of Ultimate to be tapped by your opponent. Scotty Shu to Sean Mott on the far side at the 15. And Scotty with a nice – Mike Arcata cannot quite get to that.
Man.
That looked like it was easier to catch than that, but I think the wind may have just buffeted it a little bit at the last second.
It was tough. I wonder how much they slipped, too.
It's hard to give a
timeout call.
Turn to Scotty on that, but we do have a timeout before the throw.
Yeah.
So that will go back.
They threw that yellow flag really early. The DC coach was hollering over there.
Yeah, and Troy Holland threw it anyway, but the disc is placed where he stood, so he waited for it, and that is the first DC timeout of this half.
Our Brian, the guy on the clock, he has been a ref for the first few games. He said it's really hard when you're out there to actually hear the timeout being called.
It is.
And add to that the difficulty of when you're looking at the players, trying to figure out what's a foul and what's not a foul, watching to see if a yellow flag's coming out. It's really difficult, too.
Then you can compound that with the difficulty of hearing timeout being called, but not being sure if it's the person who's authorized to do it. Often there are situations when players will be yelling to their teammates, call timeout. And all you hear is the timeout in that sentence as a ref. I can speak to that, having done 4 years here and 1 for the Hammerheads, that it does sort of confuse you a little bit. What in the heck just happened there?
It looks like there was some miscommunication about between the cutters and the person with the disc about when it was actually coming in. Philly subbed their D-line in. We got Greg Martin here, one of the highlight reels from last year.
1:22 left, and it's in. And it's called again. 0. What's he saying? Okay. Watch for Joe Campbell on the right behind the disc. There it goes. Wait. What do you? 1:25. He wants 1:25 on the clock.
We go. This is going to be frustrating for DC, who just ran the same play 3 times.
Right.
Now Philly's just leaving Greg Martin back. I don't know what you're supposed to do.
They should.
Here. I mean, you made the play call, but
there it is. Now it's in. And this is Max Cassell with the disc. Up to 15, Nate Castine. Over to Lloyd Blake. Who brings it here to Kyle Khalifa. Khalifa is one of their speediest guys. You see him break as soon as he lets that go to Cassell. Ooh, barely caught up here. And Maxstat putting it out to the cone. That is good for the Breeze. And we are now tied at 4.
It's Kyle Khalifa with the score there.
Who threw that to him?
Maxstat.
Maxstat, yeah.
It's helpful to have the what's your? It's helpful to have Rocket, the stats guy for DC, here in the booth with us. So whenever we're not sure, we just get
he can help us out.
Yeah.
And we have again Scotty Zhu, Sean Mott, Greg Strauss, Trey Katzenbach, Ethan Peck, Mike Arcata, and Himalaya Mehta on the O-line here for the home team. And number 15, Nate Cassine, ripping the pull up to about the 13. Trey puts it in to Scotty Shu. Scotty Shu with a nice flick to Sean Mott, who is thinking about Himalaya Mehta with a backhand and letting it stay. Swinging to Trey Katzenbach instead. And he pops it out to Ethan Peck over here. We've got a pick or some kind of contact. That looks like a pick because we're being backed up. Phoenix are going back 10, and nothing happened on the disc.
But it does stop the clock because it's after 30 seconds.
Right. And now inside the 30-second rule, we're going to hope the fans start counting for the Phoenix when they get down to 10. Greg Strauss with the disc at 12. Malaya Meta with a big flick to Greg Strauss, who cannot quite get there. And the clock stops. Well, it's running. Three seconds. He wants 3 on the clock. There we go. 4. It's 4. Okay. There we go. I am not sure, but uh-oh. Hold on. 0:05 will get you the 5 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
This is the most vocal I've ever seen an away team.
We have Castine. The pass is off. The clock is running. It's not going to be far enough. And Trey Katzenbach has intercepted. Unfortunately, that will not count either.
No, but it was a fun run.
That was a fun run and a good effort by Trey. Unfortunately, he was going downwind and did not quite get it off before triple zeros there. But an exciting end to the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you for the start of the second. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the start of the second quarter. The DC breeze will be to our right on what is now a pretty gentle upwind side. Have to say the flags are not as horizontal as they were half an hour ago, and they're sort of flapping gently side to side instead of straight out like cardboard.
This is definitely the most talkative is a soft word, but this is the most talkative that I've seen on an opposing sideline yet. They're communicating a lot with the people on the field, with each other, with the booth, with the refs. Really let them know what they think. I like the strategy. We'll see if it pays off for them.
And who do we have? Is that Greg Martin about to pull the disc? I think it is.
Yeah, it's Greg Martin.
So glad to see him back from his injuries.
He's firing it today.
That's nice. Yeah, it comes down at the 10. Quickly goes to Maxstat. And he is hucking it for Jeff Wodach. Sean Mott is. Oh, and Jeff.
Oh, boy.
That is you got to give him the turn on that. Holy cats. But such a rare thing for Jeff.
I guess, the discs get wet, but that's surprising to see.
Yeah, I think, we can count on a little bit of the old body airfoil as Nick Patel hits it over to Damiano and right up to Matt Esser, who puts a nice soft flick out front here to Ryan Brown. And, he lets something ugly go up in the air that is immediately picked off. DC coming the other way, shooting for the end zone for number 9, who cannot quite get there.
Man.
Kyle Khalifa.
That was Max Cassell on the throw there.
On the throw.
His player was wide open. You got to hit that.
He was, and he put too much of an angle on that and too much speed. And Dustin Damiano is not I don't know if Greg Martin just dropped that. I was sort of shielded by another player.
No, it's just too far.
Too far.
Yeah.
So we have to give Damiano the turn on that overthrow. This is not a good sign for the Phoenix as Ryan Brown takes a pass off of a foul. So DC going to get a centered goal line possession here. Maxstat with the bird. And he's looking for a little backhand into the goal, which he gets rather easily to number 14, that looks like, Dustin Becker.
14's Blake Lloyd.
Oh, Blake Lloyd, I'm sorry. Oh, that's Dustin Becker on our team.
Lloyd Blake.
Thank you. Lloyd Blake with the easy catch off a very short goal. 10:25 left, and DC has taken their first lead.
Yeah, that was rough. They didn't get a break, but because Philly got the disc pulled to them to close the first quarter, you come out in the second quarter, and now they have the disc. So
right,
they take the lead.
And they are going to get the disc on the upwind side.
I want Philly to attack here. Show them that DC is not the only one that can huck the disc.
Yeah, I think it's time, too. They certainly have the legs and the speed to do this. Trey is going to take the disc on a fairly short pull right inside the 20 out to Scotty Shue. Scotty with a little easy flick to Ethan Peck, who on the right side is going to put that to Sean Michael Mott and overthrow him downwind. Ethan Peck with just a little too much gas.
Well, they attacked.
Yeah, they did. They did what you wanted, and that was my only hope, was that they wouldn't overdo it going downwind. Sean was wide open, but Ethan just did not put enough air under that. And now we've seen, a couple of experienced players putting it too far, too fast downwind. DC working into a gentle upwind. The flags are pretty limp at the moment. Oh! And it is just nicked by Trey, who tried to catch it but couldn't quite do it. Fell into the arms of a DC player right beneath him. I think it might have been Neely. Or 22, who was faking a big pull there, who I don't have on our roster.
Yeah, great D.
Trey Kassenbach with the D, just takes it out of the sky.
Yeah.
Up to Scotty Shue and over to Sean Mott, and he has...
That's the old man D there.
Looks like Mike Arcata is in the end zone, kind of looking for something. Strauss is giving it to Meta, who takes it over to Trey. Trey is looking all around, finally dumps it back to Himalaya Meta. This is a common thing in Ultimate, to go backwards to maintain possession. The stall count in the pro game is 7. Scotty Shue with good sideline awareness toes it in, dumps it back to Sean Mott, who fakes the swing dump and instead goes for the goal to Himalaya Meta just inside the sideline. And that time, I think partly because Sean Mott had been the receiver on an overthrow, he had the sense to let it up a little bit. He put it right where it needed to be so that only Himalaya could take it in.
Yeah. He also he really worked everybody there with his fake.
He did.
It's hard to remember to fake an ultimate. You're trying to concentrate on so many things, and now you have to focus on pretending to throw the frisbee.
Well, and when the disc is wet, a fake throw can often result in a literal slip disc right out of your hand and a quick turn. But that fake was a good one in that it was convincing. It was not just your body twitch, your upper torso twitch. It was an actual hand fake that he reined in and just turned around and threw a backhand in completely the opposite direction.
Yeah.
As Matt Esser puts a nice pull down to the 20, where it goes. I went out, I think, at about the 24 or 5, and it looks like that's where Stacy is having the. She's centering the disc for the breeze. And that'll be number 14, Lloyd Blake, again with the disc over to Maxstat, who does a bunch of body fakes. Lloyd Blake got ahead there. A little bit of Campanelli. This one is going to be teetering out of bounds and knocked away by Ryan Brown. Jeff Wodach had to have been about 7'8" to bring that in.
Well, it's tough because he has to make sure he's in bounds, but Ryan Brown doesn't.
Right. Ryan Brown can go out as far as he wants and still make that play. Dustin Damiano to Nick Patel, and coming across the field, we have 85 Mike Campanella. Oh, who puts it up to Damiano. It looked like he might have been trying to rein that in, or he just got it point blocked, one or the other. And Nick Patel is caught off the mark there on a shot from 87 to 23.
That's Matt Kerrigan to Max Cassell.
MK to MC. And on a real opportunity there.
That was really good.
The Phoenix give it back, and
that was really good defense, but
DC capitalizes.
They just couldn't work it.
Yep.
You know who they need? They need Ethan Fortin out there.
Yeah.
If only he graduated in 4 years.
Another guy who's is he really fifth year still playing?
Fifth year, yeah. At Nova.
Well, that's good.
So.
You've got some eligibility.
Yeah, get to see a couple basketball titles.
Yeah, that's fun. What a game that was. Good Lord. DiVincenzo off the bench is still one of the great sports performances of the year, in my opinion. and he was playing O and D, and if they came out and doubled him on threes, he just went and jammed it. That was fun to watch. The Phoenix on O, Ethan Peck, thinking about a backhand from the 25. Instead, he puts it across to Sean Mott, who comes back to help him out. Up in the middle to Himalaya Mehta. The Phoenix just need to get into their rhythm again. That was a little behind Mike Arcata, but he got it and got a contact call as well. He'll take 10. Thank you very much. And he's got Ethan Peck as a swing dump there, who asked for it and gets it. And Scotty Shu is seen a little bit late. Himalaya Mehta, instead he goes with the hammer over the middle to Trey Katzenbach. A nice soft hammer. Sean Mott looking for GM Arcata on the left side there. Instead dumps it to Scott Shu and back to Sean. Ethan Peck, a big scoober Greg Strauss. Greg Strauss catches the tip and then pops it to Ethan Peck in the goal. That was a funny point right there, and a lucky one, you have to admit.
Yeah.
For the Phoenix, and again, stay in the play. You know, if you're awake, those good things will happen to you.
Well, sometimes the team that wins is the team that catches all the tip throws, and so far we're getting some of them.
Well, tonight that was Greg Strauss right there, who quick like a bunny just turned and saw Ethan in the end zone and popped a very quick short pass to him.
Ethan almost didn't catch it. He thought it was.
Hit him in the gut kind of quickly. Wow, that's me. Yeah.
I think he thought it was a turn. He might have thought he tipped that to himself, and he was just catching it again. But
that's another maxim in Ultimate: always catch the disc, even if you think something else is going on with the play, because you may actually maintain that possession and/or that score. And again, Greg Martin with the big pull. This one's gorgeous.
Keeping him in bounds.
Right to the goal line, center field. DC out to the 10 fairly quickly for number 14, Lloyd Blake again.
Wow.
Ooh, we had a big try on D over there. Who was that laid himself out? 85, that's our boy, Mike Campanella doing his thing. Just stays up.
Here.
Dustin Damiano trying to force flick, and unfortunately the whole center of the field was open for the receiver.
Well, a couple Philly players helped, but then you're doubling our people.
Wodach with a big catch, contested by Ryan Brown there, who really made a great play, but I think he slipped at the last second, and that's another disc that just goes over the top from Matt Kerrigan to who was that? He's still coming out of the end zone. Kyle Khalifa, thank you. The Rocket Man has given us the tip.
Man,
it's not the one you're thinking of, folks. It's not either of the ones you're thinking of. The best one, which is Elton John's song.
Well, this Rocket might be the best one.
Well,
time.
I'm just guessing Elton John's song is a little better known. So, anyway, we have DC once again, one goal up, and it just keeps going back and forth, but nobody's breaking away. And I think that's partly the wet disc and partly a little bit of a fluky win, though you have to say it's not anywhere near what it was, and this pull testifies to that.
And that game was super high scoring. Our opener against Toronto, we scored 40 points. This game's going to be lucky if it gets to 30.
Yeah. Scott Shu over to Ethan Peck. I think they're going to work it a little bit this time. Mike Arcata looking for some help, gets it to Scotty Shu. Sean Mott starts to go, but Ethan takes it instead. Up to Himalaya. Nice big fake on the flick inside. Easy dump to Ethan Peck and back to Mehta. Mehta is just, that was nice. I thought he had a chance at it. Now, he probably did too, but it was pretty easy for Ben Davies to come down with that. Arcata back across the middle. Trying to find out what the call here is. Mike Arcata, it's back to the thrower. Pick on the offense, I see. It must have been how Arcata's receiver got open or impacted it somehow then. So Mike takes it back. Scotty Shu is his dump swing easily to the middle. Ooh. Scotty with a big backhand over to Ethan Peck, who just wraps that up.
Man, we got to have players going break side there. Ethan's going to catch it all the way down.
Back to Scott Shue at the 30, to Ethan again at the 23. Ooh. Big crossfield hammer for the easy goal to Mike GM Arcata. Ethan Peck with that patented overhead hammer he likes so much.
Yeah. Based on what Ethan's showing right now, he must be happy that the wind died down.
I think so.
He hasn't had a chance to rain those hammers the first 2 games.
Mike with his first stat of the night, though he has been active. And he's just saying something to head ref J.B. Harrington about somebody pushing off with the disc, it looks like.
I wonder if
which is a reference typically to a request for disc space by a player on offense, because the markers are not allowed to straddle the pivot foot or get inside that width of a disc to the offensive player.
So is that all refereed?
Well, there's been a long discussion about how to call that and whether to call it or just let players push off. You can call interference on that. We have DC with the disc, and Maxstad is jacking it deep, but too deep to Khalifa, to Matt Kerrigan. Yeah. Kerrigan didn't know which way it was going, looked to his right and found it fading left, but it was too far anyway. And once again, a downwind pull. Matt Esser making a cut. What do we have here? Stoppage of the clock. We have a timeout Phoenix, which is a wise thing, I think.
That's the other side of the gunslinger coin for Maxstad, is if you're just going to put it up like that, sometimes it gets a little away from you.
Yeah.
He really is a gunslinger, too. He has been shooting them down.
Yeah. Well, he's not had the success of, say, Bono from last weekend.
No.
Who was just killing us with that backhand.
No, but Philly adjusted to that. I think it's almost harder to adjust it to Maxstad, who has shown not only that he's doing it forehand and backhand, but his throws are not, he's not shooting in lasers. He's floating it up there for his players to make plays.
They have arcs and turns and things too. Yeah, it's true. That one, I think you have to give the turn to Maxstad on that, just because it was so deep. I don't think
certainly.
Even if Kerrigan had read the side of the field properly, he would have gotten to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 4:26 left with the game tied at 7. And DC trying to...
Rico's dancing out there to get to the mark.
Trying to stop the Phoenix from getting their point here. Scott Shue, marked by Delrico Johnson. And the clock is running. Over to Ethan Peck in the middle to Meta. That is definitely stripped. That's just knocked out of his hand. That should be a delay of game, in my opinion, Troy Holland. But it gets 10 yards, and that's sufficient here. He's looking for a dump swing, gets it to Trey Katzenbach, guarded by Neely. Trying to prevent the swing, but that leaves Matt Esser open on the cross in front. Right up 10 yards to Sean Mott. Thinks about a backhand downfield, and instead finds Himalaya Mehta open in the middle, who finds a nice swing to Ethan Peck. And that nice swing across the field, of course, opens everything up. Scotty Zhu with a quick dump back into Phoenix territory. And he's trying to get away from Delrico Johnson, which is nothing easy to do. Trey Katzenbach, guarded by Neely, still able to get open. Looks for a dump, but takes the up to Matt Esser, who goes over to Mehta, another 10 in the middle. Nice shot to Sean Mott, who's looking for that end zone shot. And there's Trey Katzenbach, who can put it anywhere from here, and goes up to Matt Esser, who comes out of the pack to help him. And Matt is being held onto the sideline by his mark. An easy one up to Sean Mott. And there's the backhand into the goal with a nice quick touch.
Man.
That looked like Scotty Zhu just getting his foot in beautifully.
Scotty going up line. Scotty is really tough.
Did I say that was from Matt or Sean Mott?
That was from Mott.
Mott, yeah, Mott right on the sideline. And that's a combination two guys who know each other so well from Mercer Summer League. Both of them have played there. It was, Sean played there all through high school. It was summer camp for Pennsbury players as well as a bunch of the other high schools in that area. But that was such a pretty toes in by Scotty Shue, who, though diminutive of stature, has such quickness and cutting ability. He's very hard for anyone to keep up with when he wants to get away on the field.
Yeah, he is. He doesn't fill up the sheet with assists and goals like some of the other players, but he is one of our more productive for sure.
Yeah, he certainly did in the first game. He was, and even the second game he had some points, but the first game he was all over. And the Phoenix once again with a 1-goal lead now. So DC looking to tie it up. Maxstat working in the middle. Lloyd Blake trying to get his team to that was a huge layout by Campanella and then caught by DC.
Wow.
And this one is just taken down by Ryan Brown, who swings it over to Greg Martin.
He just threw it up there for everyone.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Patel, timeout called by the Phoenix, and Nick is not happy with that.
No, he wanted to throw it.
He did. He saw opening, and he's going to complain to coach that there was somebody opening. Ben Davies coming out to greet him.
You know what I think it is? This D-line just worked really hard to get these last two turns, and then they called the timeout. They subbed all those players off. They put the O-line.
Right.
Those
You're
players
absolutely right, Alex. That is what it is. And I don't blame him.
No.
I don't blame him. You feel like you earned that goal and you want to score it. But from a common sense standpoint, with 2:15 left in the half and a 1-goal lead, that's not bad coaching.
No, it's not.
It's just not.
Yeah,
Get your O-line on. Now, if the O-line, God forbid, turns it here, then the D-line will have something to say.
That's true. And I think knowing Nick, it was probably, half joking. But
yeah,
it can't hurt that the coach happens to be putting himself on the O-line here.
Right. And the coach is when it comes to Mr. Reliable in terms of handling, Trey Katzenbach's got to be top 2 on this team. Top 3, he's certainly, as coach, he's been here every game, and he's making sure the offense is set up the way he wants right now. The stack, he's bringing it closer to the DC side so they have a large field, presuming DC will force flick, which they seem to be doing. And Ethan Peck with the disc. An easy dump to Scotty Shue, though it looked a little further than it might have wanted to be. Scott with a pop-up to Trey Katzenbach.
Who else?
Greg Strauss not moving quickly enough in the middle. There's Himalaya Mehta breaking from his man. Oh, man. Very good catch by Trey. It looked like it got tipped by the opponent, by the mark. Ethan Peck with a big flick that's going to be too deep again.
Oh.
Ouch.
Man.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Peck's overthrown that throw a couple times down that side.
That is, in fact, his 4th turn of the game. He had 2 on 1 point earlier. The clock is running at 1:31. DC bringing it in. That is an opportunity that Philadelphia is really going to be sorry they missed if DC scores here. But the O-Boys are putting on a tough defensive show.
Ooh.
Till then, Trey gets the mark down on a big wind-up backhand fake. Uh-oh. Yes.
Nice D.
That was nice mark by Trey Katzenbach, forced the throw into Himalaya Mehta. And I think that was a throw where the player had just changed his mind. Ooh! Ooh! That's a great D.
Man.
He got there at the last nanosecond possible. I thought Sean Mott had that for sure. And
DC.
We have now a clock stoppage at 53.
DC calls the timeout.
DC calls the timeout, obviously.
The yellow flag.
Their second, right. So now they're going to be looking to get something going upfield. The flags are hanging down. There's really no breeze to speak of out there now. If it is, it's certainly under 5 miles an hour.
That was some D. I think Mott kind of lost where his man was there because it looked like he kind of milked the disc.
He might have. Well, he might have just been waiting to make a safe catch and did not expect him to be that close. But boy, did he close ground. I didn't see who that was. Did you?
No, I didn't. We could
Rocket, did you see who that was? Holland on the D? That was something.
It really was. He got up.
And out. He just, last second, I think Sean all but had his hands wrapped around it.
So now Philly gets to sub that D-line back in. But
now, once the clock gets into 30-second territory again, it stops for almost everything and does not start until the release of the throw on offense, no matter who has it. DC is bringing the disc upfield. He's kicking it through the wet grass, which is not real clever since he's going to be handling it on O. Decides to wipe it on his shirt with Matt Esser on the mark for Lloyd Blake, who is almost half a head taller than Matt. And then we have a
clock issue. It's called a clock issue. They wanted 54 instead of
54? Oh, they wanted 50. There we go. Okay.
Man, DC is just getting the short end of the clock stick here. Sorry.
Just so we can hear. And there, in the middle of the field, DC is just pulling it in. You can hear their players perhaps in the background yelling to the players on the field. That was almost pulled in there by Brandon Pastor. Almost got his hand on the disc. And Greg Martin covering Delrico Johnson on the far side. Oh, yes.
Great D.
Just tipped away by Dustin Damiano with 20 seconds left out of bounds. Now it's in. Good clock work with Nick Patel back at his 4. Cross to Dustin Damiano. 11 seconds left in the middle of the field. There we go. And Patel, now he's going to get his throw.
Ooh, big flick.
There
Nick.
it is, but it's only the DC guys. I don't know who it was to.
Had to put it.
He had
He had the DC sideline telling him, I think he had a second less than he did.
Yeah. Well, it still ends with the Phoenix up 8-7 at the half, ladies and gentlemen.
And getting the disc to start.
And getting the disc, as Alex is pointing out. So both of those are good things. Up here again with Nick Halliday and Len Evans. And we have Brian on clock today and Alex with me in the booth, Bailey Saul, being visited by our resident owner, George Harris, founder of the Phoenix here, whose entire family came out only to get an unscheduled shower and head home soaking wet. Trey Katzenbach dishing it to Scotty Zhu in the middle of the field. And Scotty is letting a big flick rip for Sean Mott. And that one is also just too deep.
Man.
Everything is just too far.
It was so close. That's just
Sean could taste that. I mean, I thought he was going to get it. He could taste that. Now let's see if they can get the turn back and get in here. I like thinking that way instead of just that a goal is inevitable by DC.
Well,
because Neely is being marked by Katzenbach. Over to this side, Sean just overruns the mark a little bit. Delrico being marked by Scotty Zhu, who gets a flick. Oh,
wow!
And he does not get the flick up. That is a layout D by Greg Strauss. Big, timely D right there. He heard me asking.
Yeah, his eyes lit up the second that throw went off.
They sure did. And it's just taken right back on a throw from Trey by number 22, who is not on my roster for the Breeze. Who is that? Brian Swift. What a great name.
That was Delrico Johnson to 11. Who is that?
Number 11, I don't have him either.
18.
Oh.
Neely.
Okay. So
Johnson and Neely.
Delrico to Matt Neely to tie the game at 8. It's just tough, with those opportunities like that going deep.
Yeah, I really thought it's tough to after that huge D that Strauss had to get back up and start playing, but I thought that was it. I thought he got bailed out. And,
Yeah, there is a great D bad throw syndrome thing that we talk about in Ultimate, where you're so excited from making the D, you get up and just throw it away somehow. But I don't think, was that Greg who threw that away or got intercepted? I thought it was Trey Katzen.
No, it was Scotty.
Oh, Scotty's you.
Intercepted, yeah.
Okay. But that was an inopportune throw and an opportune placement on the D. Dustin Damiano with a nice clear to Nick Patel. And it looks like the D-line is in playing this time. Greg Martin with a nice backhand. Out to Matt Esser on the far side. Back to Campanelli and Ryan Brown in the middle. Nick Patel with a nice one back to Ryan. And that goes up to Dustin Damiano at the 10. Or the 5, rather. Back to Ryan Brown, who sees a flick in the end zone.
Wow.
Yes! Greg Martin with the sky catch.
That's the guy we needed back right there.
I'll tell you what, that's a big.
Yeah, Greg got up. Wow.
Number 4, Greg Martin with the goal.
I thought it was overthrown. I didn't realize it was Greg cutting.
I thought so, too. Mike Campanella made some great effort plays on that series.
And the D-line's really going to give the O-line an earful after back-to-back possessions to end the half and now to
And
get
then
up
the first
quarter.
of the second, they throw it away. It's true.
Yeah,
it's
you put
true.
the
And I
D-line
think
out there, they score right
Trey
away.
Katzenbach made the right move there, saying, look, if this is what you guys are going to do, let's put another line in. Now let's see if he has the O-line play D. No, he's leaving a bunch of the same folks out. But if they keep this up and get a turn, they'll get another score.
I like seeing Greg Martin staying out there. I was a little worried about how many points he'd be able to play because
well, it seems
his
like
first
he
game
is
back.
fully healed. A big curving backhand pull that's going to go into the end zone. That's a nice shot. And Greg is coming down on the near sideline. We've got Campanella. Oh, DC just catches that disc. They were very lucky to get a hold of that. And you have Max Alan Michel in on D on this time too, marking the last man back and playing in his hip pocket so as not to give him a chance. Oh, and there's a big loopy. Oh, and that's Alan Michel. Or no, I'm sorry, Greg Martin with the D.
Hey.
Greg Martin.
Let's go, Greg. That was
Greg Martin with the switch off and the big D popped that away.
That was a big D. I thought that.
And he gets
easy, but I guess.
It's Nick Patel up on the far sideline, faking a flick, going back for his swing. Trey Katzenbach is in there. Oh, and we have a big backhand down to the 5. He's looking for help.
Matt Esser.
Matt Esser all alone down there, getting into stall territory. Over to Alan Michel and into the end zone for Greg Martin. Who is that?
It's
Ethan
26, right? Campanella?
No, who
looks
caught
like
the
Martin.
disc? That was Alan Michel who
Rousseau.
threw it, 23.
25.
25.
Rousseau?
Oh, that was Trey Katzenbach who threw it then. It was 25.
No.
I didn't know Trey got up there that fast.
That wasn't Trey.
No, it was Alan Michel. It was Alan Michel who threw that.
Yes.
But who caught it? 16, no. There's a 26, Colin Massino.
Well, I'll figure this out.
It
No,
looked like it
it's-
was, but
he
then I
looks-
saw 2 digits, 2
He
numbers.
looks like Martin. He looks
Yes.
a lot like Martin, and he just is not Martin.
26, Colin Massino.
Yeah, Vecino. Yes.
Let's give it to him for the moment with a little teeny question mark.
That was the first of the 6 names I said.
And now we have a 2-goal lead at 10-8 for the Phoenix.
Ooh.
With their first 2 scores in the second half coming back-to-back. The DC Breeze already in Phoenix territory. Number 24, Gabe Webster, was there, and we've got it going into the end zone. A little late on the coverage, and he knows it. Is 34.
24.
Miles
Gabe
Eckert for
Webster,
the Phoenix,
24.
but
oh yeah.
But 24 of DC Breeze catches that,
Yeah.
and now we have
Rico Johnson.
the real O-line coming back on the field.
Well,
Properly chastised, I think,
they got a break.
or chastened. Yeah, they did get a break, and their team is still up 1, and here they are coming downwind with the disc with 8:24 left in the third.
Man, they I would just like them to properly hit some of these throws, some of these deep throws.
Yeah, their long game seems to have completely deserted them tonight. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's not that windy compared to our.
It's
very
almost
windy,
nothing now, but we
our
do
first
have
two
some
games.
very ominous cloud cover coming. In fact, folks, I would say it is black as pitch over there, and that southwestern sky, it could get nasty again here in about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe sooner. Ethan Peck up to Himalaya Meta. Oh, that was very close.
Wow.
Greg Strauss
Caught.
catches that on his thigh, I think. And then we have an easy lefty flick from Sean Mott into the end zone for Ethan Peck. What a play.
It's another tip that Strauss has managed to come up with. Right place, right time.
Yes. Greg Strauss, Mr. Staying in the play.
Yeah.
And we go up 9-11. 3-1 here in the second half. 3-2, rather, in favor of the Phoenix in the second half.
So all those flicks that have been turns that have been thrown as righty flicks because most people are right-handed on the field today.
Yes.
They're trying to gun it in there. And it's the same third throw. So you're throwing it vertically on the same third as your cutter. And so it's really hard because the cutter has to look over their shoulder, see where the disc is,
Right.
and you have to put that so that it almost floats back. It's a really tough throw. Mott got to throw a lefty flick in there. He got to curve it way around. So his
Right, and just let his player go
Yeah.
to it. Yeah. DC, again, thinking about their long game and deciding not to. Oh, it's Greg Martin going for another one. Fortunately, tucked himself in so as not to knock himself out on a DC player's thigh. Another big layout try for a D. You cannot fault the effort on the part of the Phoenix to get to these discs.
No. The only problem is it's so wet out there. Every time they lay out and miss it, they slide like 12 feet.
Right, further away from the play.
Yeah.
DC down at the 13, but just dumped it back to the 35. This is the direction the Phoenix would like to see them go. The Phoenix would like to see them keep going. We have a small but vocal crowd here tonight, and the sideline is still pretty active. Oh!
Wow.
And he gets it from number 9
Knifed it through everybody there.
to number 14. That's
Lloyd Blake on the catch from Kyle Khalifa.
both names that we expect to hear a lot of from the DC Breeze.
Yeah. Kyle scored a couple goals. That's his first assist. That was very impressive defense from Philly.
Yeah.
At least from an effort standpoint. They couldn't quite convert, but Esser went flying.
Yeah, he did. They've had a lot of good attempts here.
He lifted off. He might have cleared some of the bleachers with that layout he just had.
Well, I'm hoping that what looks like ominous cloud cover is really just this funny thing we get every day called night. It may be, it may not be. Scotty Zhu will pull that in with Trey as his dump. Mike Arcata here, who gets both hands on that disc, thankfully, on the trailing end because Scotty gave it quite a rip. And Mike with a nice crossfield flick to Sean Mott, who's just trying to figure out where to go. He puts a big looping backhand that's going out of bounds. No!
Oh, Mike Arcata.
Mike Arcata catches it in. Over to Ethan Peck. Do we have a little give and go? We do.
Oh.
We do. The assist to the assist for Arcata, and then the goal from Ethan Peck.
That's got to be worth a bonus in Ethan's game check there.
And that is a nice play. Yeah, right.
Right around Del Rico, who is one of the stud defenders on the DC team.
No question about it.
Mike never gave up on that disc.
No, he didn't.
I think everyone else in the stadium did.
I certainly did.
Yeah. Thank you.
And let me see.
So that's a couple of deep shots that Philly's just converted really quickly there, too. This has been a much more active third quarter than the first half was. Putting more points on the board. Philly's a little bit less run and a little more gun here.
Whenever you guys, it's there. Okay, so DC now with the disc. Coming upfield on the near sideline. Maxstat into the middle. Oh! We got a little contact there, but no call. Ryan Brown, who went to the ground pretty easily, did not bump his man too badly. A backfield flick at Wodach, who takes that inside Ryan Brown. And Messino here. Oh, that's a nice catch, too. And Campanella, was on that mark, and I think he got stepped on or twisted it. One or the other.
Kyle Khalifa caught it there.
If he got stepped on, it shouldn't. It looks like those are baseball cleats the way he's limping. That's not good. Campy's been very good tonight on the defensive side here.
He's heading over to the trainer now. The top of the foot, every time you get hit by a cleat there, it hurts so much. It's all nerves.
Yeah, and not exactly the thickest skin on the body either. So tied 4-all in the second half. Scotty Zhu with no mark and therefore no stall. Meta at the 25. Scotty Zhu bailing him out there with a little help, and Del Rico marking him as usual. Ooh. Scotty with a big flick to Sean Mott. That's going to be a goal, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Right there. We're going to call that one a nanosecond ahead of time because we just don't think Sean is going to drop that. That's Sean's first goal of the night. He's chased down a few to no avail. And Scotty Zhu's first assist.
Yeah. Well, you get Scotty throw those. It's a whole different ball game. He really put that in there nicely.
Shout out to our friend Scotty Bugatti White, old Ultimate player, sometime disc golfer. And we got Greg Martin again holding the disc ready to pull with the Patel, Damiano, Michelle, and Greg Strauss, is that too? Out there, second from the end on the right for handling?
No, that's it looks like Ryan Brown, 77.
Oh, is it Ryan Brown? Okay.
Yeah.
I wish those numbers on the front were bigger. Nice pull again by Mr. Martin. And DC, unfortunately, moving it up quickly. Dustin Damiano shuts down the lane for that backhand fake, which is okay because you want to do that. And a flick up that Nick Patel is not aware of until it's caught over him or knew he couldn't get to. And a cross-field flick for Wodach from the receiver on the last play.
Matt Cassell.
Matt Cassell.
Max Cassell.
Max, sorry. And boy, where the points were so hard to come by in the first half, we're doing in the first half, we're on pace to do in this quarter what we did in the first half for each team, which is just a huge indication of, the difference the wind makes here.
Yeah, their throws are falling now, and they're falling heavy.
Yeah, everybody seems to be a little more in sync.
I'm
But thankfully, this is happening with the Phoenix up 1 and a chance to go up 2. So if they just keep trading goals, the Phoenix are going to win this game. So we'll see who comes up with the key break. Phoenix are coming downwind again, but as we say, really the flags are pretty much limp. There is no breeze to speak of. Scotty Zhu ropes in this pull, looks to the right side, but his stack is – or to the left. His stack is to the right, including Trey Katzenbach, who gets the disc over to Ethan Peck and then takes it back. Trey Katzenbach, we have a defensive interference there. Now, that whistle, that was blown dead before the throw.
Yeah, it looks like they're giving it to him.
No, they are.
Might have been an offensive foul.
I guess it was. That's unfortunate for the Phoenix because I think people let up on the whistle. And we got a pick downfield is what that says. So Trey is back on the mark with Maxstat holding the disc. And he is playing catch back there with 22 Brian Swift.
Oh.
The man who wasn't on our roster initially. DC with a shot right into the goal.
It's a big break.
To tie the game. It's huge. We were just talking about who would score it, and that was not the answer I was looking for. But nonetheless, it is what we have.
It was Ben Priest scoring there, his first goal of the night.
Ben Priest, okay.
With the assist.
It is good having the Rock Patel up here with us.
Quinn Bergeron with the score. But also his first score.
Bergeron, yeah. All right, now the Phoenix are coming upwind. Again, no wind, though, so Del Rico with a low crossfield pull that lands at about 17. And we have the D-line on O again, Damiano to Patel. Oh, Matt Esser with the layout catch. Thank you, Matt. And a Blady flick to Mr. Martin. Greg Martin with a dump to Ryan Brown. Fakes the backhand in the end zone. And we have Nick Patel for the goal from Ryan Brown.
Goal.
And I just saw lightning on the far side.
Goal and a pretty fun spike.
Ryan Brown, 77.
They're talking on the field.
So we're at 3:44 left in the third. This will be our third delay tonight, our second during the game. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take another enforced break here. Thank you for hanging with us, and we'll be back in 20. Talk to you soon. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from lightning delay number 3. Rain is coming down fairly gently and almost completely vertically, a little bit slanted to our left, again, with the upwind being to the right.
I've always wondered what makes it harder to play in wind or rain.
And Greg Martin with another terrific pull into the DC end zone. They are coming out now. They want to get a score in here as quickly as possible because they understand that if this game is called, whoever is in the lead at that time will be the winner. And, of course, Philadelphia would like to break this offensive line and get a score themselves to get some separation and make it less likely that DC can climb back in. On the far side, we have number 9, Kyle Khalifa. We have a contact on the Phoenix coming this way. That was called by Joe Campbell in the in the receiving end zone, in the Phoenix end zone. Something he saw there. We have a fairly
Right up line.
Oh, right up line for a goal fairly quickly. And the game is now tied again.
45-27 there. Wodach to Austin Bartenstein.
Yep. So we are now at 7-6 in this half, and we're not done the third quarter yet, where the first half was 8-7. You can see the scoring pace has increased substantially. But I think we're about to start seeing the effects of a wet disc again.
It's not just the wet disc. You know, the rain's getting in your eyes. It's tough to see.
Sure.
You got to contend with the light. Now the light's hitting every little raindrop, which, you know, shouldn't be too much, but just that little bit of flash will make it harder to
Rico
catch.
Johnson with a nice pull, though a little nose up on it, so it stalls and fades in at the 20.
Wow.
That was a big lightning strike. That's going to be the end of the game right there.
How are they still playing?
I don't think they did either. I don't know how they missed it, but it was – I think Joe Campbell must have seen that.
That cut the whole sky.
And that is a score for D.C., giving them a 1-point lead, but I don't think anyone saw that.
There
it is.
Well, that was fortuitous timing there for DC.
Stacy Spencer saw that on the other side. What a wild turn of events. We have that is, oh man. Well, you couldn't write a worse ending for the Philadelphia Phoenix. I don't know what they're doing here. It looks like they're calling the game because it's the third lightning strike. Oh, they're maybe not. I guess they're not.
Another
20 more minutes.
Delay.
And it looks like our reliable O-line is out there with the addition of Mike Arcata, Ethan Peck getting it from Scotty Sue. Over to Sean Mott on this sideline. Meta going deep and coming back, and Sean swinging it before he saw that excellent cut. Ethan Peck with a little backhand. Oh, into the middle. Oh, and dropped by Sean.
Someone's got to go deep. Sean got him. Sean got him.
This is just not turning out the way we had hoped here. Del Rico with a fake, and then he wanted to go hammer. He's being double-teamed. He gets a little Blady Scuba back out over there. Nice coverage on the far side by the Phoenix player. Del Rico has to come out to get that at the 6. And he throws a big flick on the far side that is caught as Himalaya Meta falls down by number 20.
Corey Briles.
Mr. Corey Broyles for
Broyles.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. It was just so close on D, and now DC is up by 2.
Man, this is rough for Philly. With both these rain delays coming at very different times, but you have to think that, without all this rest time, it's a different game. And I really, I think Philly should put their D-line back out there. Their D-line's been great.
Yeah, it's uncharacteristic what's been going on for their offense, and they're going to be pretty upset, I think, if they end up losing this game. But, of course, there's a lot of time left. Are you kidding me?
I think that might have just been
Was that offsides?
Yeah, offsides on DC.
We have an offsides on DC.
They all started running except the puller, who
Right. Del Rico has to go to the back of the goal line to pull, and refs are confirming while the clock stops here with 1:23 left in the quarter that they can only come out to the 10. I thought it was the 20 because it is a 20-yard end zone. I thought they were supposed to be able to come out to the 20. I'll have to confer with JB on that just as a point of interest.
It's a 10-yard penalty.
Oh, I see. But the end zone is 20. So
Right, so
if were they in the middle of the end zone, not in the back? I guess they must have been.
I think you get to run up to the middle.
I thought they were on the back line. From the middle, I'm hearing. Yeah, I should know this as former head ref of the Phoenix. A nice shot from Trey Katzenbach up to Ryan Brown. There are a couple of changes on this O-line. We have a call here on a pick. Trey Katzenbach taking it back to the 10. It was Dan Moraski on the near sideline making that call. Ethan Peck easily gets most of it back. Fakes his defender. That was a beautiful fake. And Ryan Brown cashes it in from Ethan Peck. What a shot.
What a shot. What a grab.
If we gave points for fakes, Ethan would get a big one for that because he faked that guy right off his feet.
And he still threw it, I thought.
And threw number 5 of his assists to who was that who caught that?
I think you were right with Ryan Brown.
Ryan Brown, yes. Thank you.
There.
It was. It was. Yeah, he did. He just faked him right out of his jockstrap. And Ryan Brown with a layout catch in the end zone to get back within 1. So now, with the D-line out there, Greg Martin with another big pull coming downwind. And he'll be one of the first down there right behind Nick Patel. And Matt Esser, who closes in on a fake huck backhand. Ooh. And Campanelli, he wanted to take a shot at that. That's a perfect opportunity for a poach if Damiano can keep his feet. But I think this grass has become a little slippery now, too, and soft with the rain. DC going backwards and now to an open man all alone in the middle. Lloyd Blake again.
He grabbed it.
He puts an air ball up and catches. They catch it for a goal at the end of the third quarter to make it 17-15 DC. And my suspicion, ladies and gentlemen, is that we will go right into the fourth. I think there will be a brief conversation.
Was that Wodach who got it? Yeah. Man, Wodach getting another jump ball there.
Yeah, Wodach. Well, Jeff is, such a vet and such a pro, and one of the big parts of that, of course, is reading. I think we're going to have a virtual momentary timeout.
So this is
and then go right into it.
This is the biggest mental test for Philly thus far. I mean, they had that game against Toronto where they came back, but, they weren't expected to win that game. It was miserable conditions, and they didn't complete it. This game, they thought they were up. They thought they were in control, and now they're losing by 2. This is a good test for a young team to see if they're mentally strong enough to pull the game back.
Yeah, and for my part, I don't think it's so much finding out if they're mentally strong enough, because I believe, and I think they believe they are. It's just whether or not they can execute it tonight. If it's not tonight, it's coming soon, because they, obviously these first 3 games, they're in every one of them, and they're certainly not out of this down 2 with a quarter to go. Greg Martin pulling again and trying to make sure his team does not go off sides, which is a good thing.
Another fantastic pull by Greg.
Really a nice soft floater, giving the D a chance to get up there. Nick Patel, as usual, the first one, with Dustin Damiano, and here on the near sideline. And Wodach with the disc. We have some kind of call here. That's a pick downfield. So the Phoenix will get a break there. Brandon Pastor is out on D. Matt Esser, Dustin Damiano.
Oh.
And there's a big pull, which the Phoenix are not going to get to. Damiano makes a good effort and gets contact on the play, so they take it at the goal line. Mike Campanella's down there in the end zone with Pastor and Matt Esser. And they overthrow it.
Okay.
Matt Esser with the layout attempt on the D. And he felt he had to throw around him, and he couldn't quite do it. And here the Phoenix get a break. Now, as is always the case on these situations, can they cash it in? Greg Martin with a nice reception. Midfield, no. Throws it away immediately to 87, who then has his thrower throw it away. 22 is that? 27.
Point block.
Oh, that's a point block. I'll be darned. Who did that? Who got that?
It might have been Martin, just judging by where everyone's coming from over the sideline. It was tough to tell, though. They were very
Who did you think?
side. I thought Greg Martin.
Greg Martin with the D. Matt Esser with a good attempt on the throw prior to that.
Philly calls a timeout there.
Philly, and probably a good one. First time out of the second half for Philadelphia.
Maybe, but I want them to keep this D-line in. I think this D-line's been working real hard.
Right, yeah. If they did it just to switch the lines, I'm hoping they did it not to do that but to talk. But it looks like they are putting the O-line in. Greg Strauss, Mike Arcata, Meta. I think Trey is out there, not Matt. Trey is out with Scotty Shu, Sean Mott. Yeah, we need to see a little more disc security by the offense here.
Yeah.
And as we take a lull in our own game here, we can report to you that the Raleigh Flyers are up 15-10 on the Dallas Roughnecks with 9 minutes left in the third, being broadcast on Stadium Television. You can find that on the web anytime during game times, of course. So we have a stack set up on the far side with Ethan Peck with the disc, and he's going back to Scotty Shu. He's got Sean Mott in close, back to Ethan. Brings it out. We've got Greg Strauss doing some loops in the middle there. There could be a pick called on some of these curves. Sean Mott outrunning his defender on the near side. Another flick over to Ethan Peck with a backhand to Scotty Shu. Nice backhand in the middle to Greg Strauss and over to Ethan. And a big backhand that's fading away into the wrong area. Only Del Rico Johnson can get that.
Yeah, he needed that to come back.
And he just let that go. I think it slipped out early, actually, out of his hand because the attitude was all wrong on the disc. He knew that his receiver was going to the right, and he released it too early. It went to the left. DC trying to capitalize for their third goal in a row after these turns and a 3-goal lead. Mealy on the near side. 22, Mr. Brian Swift again, our unrostered guy. Back to Maxstat in the middle. He's marked by Mike Arcata. Tried to deny him the dump momentarily. Ethan Peck marking Swift and Strauss on Del Rico.
Try to push pass there.
A mishandle of the disc, a little cute push pass, and down it goes. And once again, the Phoenix get a second opportunity. We have Scott Shu to Sean Mott. And Sean looking for anybody cutting to the near side. Kind of upset that they're not.
Man.
Puts out a lefty
traffic.
flick into double coverage. Actually, we had a guy poaching late on that
didn't see the
that
poach.
Sean couldn't see. But that's a product of frustration for Sean with half the field open and no Phoenix players running to it. Part of that, I think, is exhaustion at this point. And DC going through them a little quickly now. Big upfield flick. We have only Greg Strauss back, and we have Del Rico on the far side with the disc. Fakes a flick and does a little lefty backhand into the middle of the field. A hammer over the middle is D'd up and caught. I think that was Scott Zhu got his hand on that.
Yeah. What is happening?
Scotty Zhu with the D. That's his
Send it.
first.
Send it.
Meta on the near sideline. Mike Arcata was deep all alone there for a moment. Nobody saw him. Trey Katzenbach looking for, again, somebody to be open downfield, but nobody seems to be cutting. Sean Mott.
Another open cutter. They're just not, I don't
on the far side with Scott Zhu. No, please don't say that. Somebody said they just saw lightning.
Lightning call, yeah.
My suspicion is if that's what it is, that this is going to be the game. We're 6 minutes into the fourth. The refs are conferring.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is
Well, we have a report that that's 14 miles away on the last lightning. But it's one of these things, if you can see it, you're supposed to call it.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but whatever the refs call, it's the call, and we just don't have time. I mean, the game ends at 10, regardless of what the delay situation is like, because the lights in the stadium will turn off.
Yeah.
So
we're 9:33 right now. A 20-minute delay would take us to 9:53, which means we could barely get the rest of it in. It looks like they're going to try to finish the point. Yes. Yeah, we're going to keep playing for the moment. It's far enough away, and we've had enough of these with no follow-up. So, the Phoenix with the disc. And the official will start the clock. There it goes. Trey Katzenbach on the far side from Scott Zhu. Scotty Zhu trying to get open. Trey's got no one. He has to call his second timeout.
It's rough.
And it is rough, but it's also critical on this possession
They have to keep
not to get stalled. He needs to talk to the team about, tightening up a stack and then getting some cuts that are open. The handlers have just had not a lot of options.
I think that the O-line's just they're on some of their last legs here.
Yeah.
They keep having to run out here, sprint really hard for 10 minutes, and then go back inside and sit. It's very difficult for them
And on
to stay loose.
the last two, it was not near 10 minutes.
No. It's true.
Meanwhile, Raleigh putting on an impressive display in Dallas, up 18-12.
Well, they've got to be upset about their close loss to Austin.
Yeah.
Tonight.
It's going to be a quick timeout. I think the timeouts are supposed to be 90 seconds or 85, but the head ref can do any minor changes to those kinds of protocols at his discretion, and this is certainly a situation that calls for that. So J.B. Harrington is going to get this back in play a little more quickly than that. With 6:40 left, looks like Ethan Peck on the far sideline with the disc. Trey Katzenbach is second in the stack. Oh! And it's down and behind Himalaya Mehta. Now that is another unforced turn. And that's by Ethan Peck. And I think the game has just been called. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen, an ignominious end to what was a good contest initially. But Mother Nature has just not cooperated at all with us so far this season.
It might be a timeout. It's tough to say. The refs are I don't envy the position that they're in right now.
No, I don't either.
Standing out there in the rain. Yeah, DC called a timeout there.
I guess they were just happy about the turn. It looked like they were celebrating the end of the game.
There have been a lot.
All right, so I take it back. Man, this is really just hideous.
Man, the Phoenix are putting a mix out there. They got Trey and Mike Arcata and Meta are staying on, but they're bringing in Martin and Esser.
Yeah.
They're trying to take the best of both worlds. Yeah, and Peck and Mott finish it off. They, I like this lineup, but they got to score quick.
Not this one.
Man, it is tough to watch with all this rain.
Well, this helps headphones here.
It's Bartenstein picking up for DC. Great dump defense there, but they get it to the middle of the field. Man. They're throwing a lot of these bladey backhands for what they have.
Oh, and there's another nose up with Matt Esser chasing. Oh! He tipped it to himself and managed to catch it. Number 9, he faked and fell.
Yeah, that is the.
He gave him contact on that.
That is the Frisbee equivalent of jumping when
Kyle Khalifa. Matt just didn't know where it was. He could have knocked that down if he had only known.
Wow.
And 23 on the far side, Max Cassell. Oh, that's going out for Wodach. He manages to keep a foot in or doesn't. No, he dropped it. Couldn't hold the disc.
No, it was out of bounds. If you want to learn how to play end zone defense there, watch Greg Martin on that point. He chipped Wodach with his hip twice. It's not a foul. He's occupying space.
Sean Mott going deep. And it's macked. Again, unadvisable, ill-advised. Greg Martin could not get around his defender to get to that. And I can understand Sean Mott's frustration at this point. But that was just not necessary. He could have waited for other throws. The Phoenix are letting this frustration get to them and just doing some silly stuff now. And we have Boyles Kyle Khalifa thinking about going deep, but not. Instead, he's in the middle over there to Matt Kerrigan. Little softy backwards to Max Cassell. Shoots it down to the 5. And back to the 14. Oh, and another
his hands.
Missed catch, another turn.
Max Cassell there, dropped it.
By Max Cassell. His second turn.
You know, it's been a long point, but this somehow is still a break opportunity for the Phoenix. They can punch it in here.
Meta, Mike Arcata's going to ask for the strip there, and I think he's going to get it.
Yeah.
That was both a crashing into from behind and a strip. And Mike looking for the flick upfield.
I took a few too many steps.
Okay, there we go. Clock is.
Oh, Mike's taking the shot.
There's Greg Martin going to get that at the 2. And easy to Ethan Peck.
Let's go.
Finally, okay.
Wow.
They break that drought. Get off the schneid. And so that was Greg Martin to Ethan Peck. Greg with his first assist.
Let's go.
And Ethan getting downfield quickly to get that goal against his 5 assists.
Man.
3:16 left in the 4th. It's now a 1-point game.
Yeah, I got to shout out Mike's hockey assist there. We've
Yes.
been watching. The story of the second half has been DC is converted. Well, other than the lightning delays, is that DC is converted on their hucks, and Philly has had a tough time hucking it. And Mike put a beautiful around backhand there, right into Greg Martin's lap. That was very
He
pretty.
did. It was. And so now your D-line has Scotty Shue on it. And Nick Patel and Matt Esser and Captain Trey and Ryan Brown. No, Campanella is that? Who is that? 80. Yeah, it's Campanella. Oh! What a catch. What a catch. See, that's a hard thing for me to see as a defensive foul when Knight reached around him like that.
It's tough.
Or Max that, rather, reached around him like that.
You have to call that, but some of the better players are figuring out ways to take advantage of it. It's a difficult spot to be in. It's a rules team A right there.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. Del Rico with a flick to the far cone, and he's going to get it to maintain their 2-goal lead with 2:36 left at 16-18. That is a hard one. And the Breeze already with 11 in this half as opposed to their 7 in the first. The Phoenix with 7 in this half as opposed to their 8. Or 8, I'm sorry, 8 each half already.
Gabe Webster catches the score there. Ugh.
Yep.
There's another close game for the Phoenix.
It sure is, but this is one they're going to really rue losing if they do because they had so many opportunities here.
This is a tough game.
But DC has had its share of turns too. I mean, they've given a lot of those turns right back. Scotty Shue pulls it in at about the 20. Ethan Peck to Himalaya Mehta. We haven't heard a lot from Himalaya today, and I don't think it's because he hasn't been open. I think he's sort of getting missed in the mix.
There's Davies from New Zealand.
Yeah, Davies is out there now, and Davies is very long, too. Oh!
Ow!
Oh! Good Lord! What in the hell kind of play was that? That guy just laid him out.
It's not concentrating on the player.
That is the kind of thing that starts fights. I mean, that is just uncalled for.
It would in a different sport, but they don't throw hands a lot in Frisbee.
Yeah, but come on. The guy had the disc. He just got trucked.
Yeah. Scotty hopped right back up. He's going to the sideline, but
I thought it was Davies that got hit. That's
no,
Scotty
Scotty,
Shue?
yes. I mean, he got it from both
Jesus
ends. He got it. Someone dived into his legs and someone dived into his head. You have to pay attention to the players on the field.
And that's the defensive player's responsibility. You know, that's for me as a head ref, I'm warning that guy that he's one more like that and he's out of the game. Because that is reckless. He's the only one who can see that play. And he's got to let up.
20 yards.
Yeah, that is a misconduct. Very good call, JB. Thank you. 81, Sean Mott with the disc. Back to Trey. Over to Ethan. Back to Trey. Again, the Phoenix have precious few people. Thank you, Mr. Mehta, coming through. Himalaya Mehta with a nice soft shot to Trey Katzenbach in the end zone. Holy cats. I don't know who hit him, but to me that borders on a dirty play.
Well, look, if that doesn't light a fire under your bottom, what will?
Yeah,
right?
that's a good question. What will?
Man.
Holy cats.
I have to say, for everybody that's watching this at home, Bailey was so upset by that he took off his headset because he didn't want the yelling to interfere with the broadcast.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, the thing like that irritates me is Scotty took 2 impacts there. He took the truck from the guy, and then he hit the ground very hard. So that's bam, bam, and your brain does not enjoy being rattled like that inside your skull. especially if you're not wearing a football helmet. Greg Martin with another big pull. Phoenix, I hope, will come down on D with a vengeance.
Yeah, they got to get down there.
Again, trailing by 1. Yeah, they really do. Nick Patel, Sean Mott on D. Oh, a quick turn.
Throwaway.
Dustin Damiano picking it up quickly to Sean Mott. Sean seeing Greg Martin, but holstering. Scotty Zhu back on the field. Are we sure that wasn't Davies? I guess it wasn't. Okay. Wow. That's impressive. A nice sliding catch by Nick Patel on the far side of the field. Good fakes to keep his player moving.
It's another contact.
We're going to get another contact play there. Sean Mott, yeah.
Oh, they're laughing about it, though. That one is a little more spirited.
Yeah, I don't think DC is contesting it. But, you know, if that's the only way they can make plays, we're just going to have to rely on the refs to call them on it.
That's true. I mean, it's a little slippery out there, so I could see how that one, you know.
It's true. People are not – they do not have the ability to stop that they usually do. But still, come on.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an in-your-face. Fake one way and under the armpit to Nick Patel from Sean Mott. Nick with his second goal rather. Sean Mott with his fourth assist. And the Philadelphia Phoenix have tied this game back up, ladies and gentlemen.
That's something that only a lefty can do. It's just harder to mark that lefty backhand.
That's, yeah.
He faked the flick, he bit on it, and he just whipped it right around for Howard's backhand.
Wowie kazowie. And with 43 seconds left, I was joking with the refs earlier this evening that asking them if they had seen the overtime game in the Midwest where they went to a second overtime without flipping the receiving team but flipped a coin for the second one instead when you're just supposed to do the opposite of whatever happened in the first overtime.
Well, we don't have
Greg Martin with his first short pull, but it skips and gets wet. And DC picks it up, is at their 23 right away. Not much coverage here. Trey gets in on number 23 there, Max Cassell. And a big, big huck is up. Yes! Matt Esser with a no-foul play. D'd up nicely. We have 24 seconds left.
Man.
That should be a clock stoppage when it's back in. Oh, never mind. It's not. We're swinging over. Oh, and that's tipped right away. And
he caught it.
He caught it.
He
caught it with 8 seconds. 6. 5 timeout. They have no more timeouts. That's right.
Man, there's a foul. Now foul comes in on the throw. They need a very quick throw here and then a huck. Immediate huck. Throw it. Huck it.
It's too late.
Make it. Ooh.
We are going to overtime. And I was joking with the refs before the game about that, and that looks like Matt Esser just got hurt.
Well, they sliced his hand open there.
He sliced it open?
His arm. I mean, it's bleeding a little bit, but
they'll have to tape that up or something before he goes back
just
out.
Ran over. Wow, that was intense. So what do we do now? How quickly do we start? Because they can't take the full time.
No, they're not going to. They're going to start right away. 5-minute overtime.
Man, that was intense.
Right, they flip a coin to start the overtime, and they're going to go right away. Well, unbelievable.
These teams are making it interesting. I got to tell you, Bailey, I hope that one day I can tell my kids about how I was there to watch the Philly-DC rivalry start.
Oof. The OT game.
It's not
even legal.
Wait a minute.
Oh, they're calling it. There's not enough time left.
There's 10 of.
I guess they're saying that with the rain and the lightning, they're going to call it a tie game.
Wow.
What a European soccer way to end the game.
What?
That was intense.
I'll be damned.
That was a little too intense to leave us without ending there.
It really is. I got to hear what the.
Oh,
they have less than 10 minutes to close the field.
Well, we got to hustle.
Jesus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that means we have to pack it up. So from 302 Sports and the Philadelphia Phoenix here in beautiful downtown Conshohocken, PA, Garthwaite Stadium, we say see you next time, 2 weeks from tonight, May 12th, with the visiting New York Empire, whom the Phoenix go to play next week. And I guess we're kissing our cousins tonight, or our sisters, or whatever that old saying is. But a tie is like kissing your sister. Yep. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. A hard-fought battle, but once again, the Philadelphia Phoenix surprise and come away with a tie here against a very good D.C. team. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks again.
Bye, everyone.